There it is, World Center of Racing, and Supercross racers have been unleashed on its press day here for Monster Energy Supercross at Daytona. Ever since we revamped the Weege show formula to include the walk and talk, we've been counting the days till we get to this race, because there's nothing as an atmosphere or as a racetrack more unique than that. There's Justin Barsha, FYI, he went down on this jump earlier. He's a little bit bent up, beat up, but I think he's okay. He did get back on the motorcycle and ride it a bit. But this track will come up and bite you. And in fact, it's been engineered a little bit that way, just like Racetech Gold Valves. You know all about them. Racetech Gold Valves, suspension weight plusher, better bottoming resistance. And all made and engineered in the USA. Get a set. Go to racetech.com/contest/Weege show and win, just like these riders are trying to do for the 50th anniversary of this race. Retro touches, including these tunnels. I remember way back in the day, these tunnels were the finish line jump, and I'd see Jeff Stanton winning the race year after year. This race, a little less technical this year, a little bit faster, more open, more motocrossy, to be a little more old school Daytona style, and they actually laid off the infield here so we could have the awesome Daytona logo. I cannot stress enough how different this race is from every other race we go to all year. First of all, the track is a hybrid of motocross and supercross. I talked to Eli Tomac and he said, yeah, you're going to have to accept that your bike will not be perfect. You get bumps like you do not get in a stadium, but you still have rhythm, you still have roots, you still have jumps. Now what's odd is that Tomac is usually a guy when the bike is slightly off, you see a big drop in his performance, but here he's done very well at riding the compromise machine, because he's won this race 3 times, and the only time he did not win it was with a superhuman race of his life performance from Justin Brayton. I mean, look at this combo here. The dirt looks like a national, the jumps look like supercross. So for the riders, it's certainly unique to ride. But if you're here as a fan, it's more than just that. There is nothing like the atmosphere of Daytona, the World Center of Racing, and as they also call themselves, the world's only motorsports stadium. 101,000 seats in these grandstands, and the NASCAR track is so huge. They used to have grandstands in the back, and people would come here and they'd always be like, oh, I didn't know they had 2 racetracks here. No, the track is 2.5 miles long. All the way in the back, it's still a racetrack. And the high banks in the corners are so steep, it's literally, you have to walk up them on all 4s. This is a 8th wonder of the world type facility. I know we just went to 2 awesome stadiums in Dallas and Atlanta, but there's nothing quite like this. So if you're a fan and you haven't been here, put it on your bucket list. Come on down for Bike Week. We have beautiful weather. We have every type of motorcycle activity you could possibly get, all in one town. And history gets to be made. This is a big deal. Jim Holley knows. Look, man, Daytona really sticks out. There's every other race, but Daytona, I would assume if you win here or there, it's a win. But winning Daytona sticks out.
It is, and I mean, my only best finish here was back in 1986 when I got 4th. I missed the podium. Ricky Johnson won, Bailey was 2nd, and Brock Glover.
How badly do you wish, like how badly do you want that one position to say podium Daytona?
I'd probably pay $100,000.
There you go, that's what I'm saying. It sticks out. From what you're seeing now, Jim, the track back then was really known as really gnarly, really motocrossy. They wanted to make a little more old school. They got a little bit of that feel more than the last, say, 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, traditionally back when we did, you know, you cross pit road, you had 40 guys on the starting line, 2 rows of 20.
Daytime.
Yeah, daytime. Now they're dealing with a little bit different shadows. You gotta remember, when they're in a stadium, different lighting than we have here at Daytona. It's a little bit more darker than normal. But this race is unique just because of the elements that you have to deal with. It's Supercross and Motocross kind of all combined into one. So I mean, with that being said, and like you said, this is the one you want to win. If you want it, like Ricky Ryan, his only win in 1987, he can say he was a Daytona Supercross winner.
Yeah, anytime you bring up the name Ricky Ryan, everybody already knows the next thing you're going to say. All right, Jimmy, race day live. Watch it tomorrow. Getting in the well. This is cool. We got media people all over the place, but of course they want to bring this one in. This is Daytona, as just like Jim Holley said, it's the one you want to attach yourself to. So let's talk as far as championship is concerned, a couple of things. First of all, Tomac, as I said, good at adapting, good at winning this race. I said, look, man, this year are you thinking long game a little more? He's tied in points with Ken Roczen. Do you think must win Daytona, or do you think I'm just thinking points? And he said a little bit. I've been a little bit more long game this year. I don't feel that I have to win this race. And then he added, as long as I finish in front of the other guy with the red plate. So he does want to beat Roxon here and get sole possession of the red plate back. Now, there's Tomac going by right there. As for a video you might have seen last week with Tomac and Justin Barcia arguing after the finish of the race, I talked to both of them about that. Now, you could probably already figure what Barcia's response is. He thought it was cool, he thought it was exciting, he thought it was awesome. And honestly, he's not bothered by it one bit. You know Barcia, if you're playing that game, and he is back on the racetrack, if you're playing that game, you're just falling into his hands. He said his whole life he's thrived on it. He likes combat, he likes competition, and he said maybe he needs that, maybe to motivate him. He's stayed in the hunt this year, but he knows he has to start winning races and try to close that points gap. And he thinks that last week's argument, who knows, maybe that's that one little extra bit of fire that he needs. So for Barcia, all good. For Tomac, I asked him about it, and he said, it's not a problem, it's not something he's thinking about. He said as long as they don't hurt each other, he can leave it in the past. And he also knows, look, he's raced most of these guys, as he told me, 50s and 60s. He knows how the game is played. He and Barcia have raced each other their whole lives. He knows better than letting it bother him. But he said if someone were to hurt each other, then that would change. But right now, they're just leaving last week. Wow, was Tomac going fast through there. Finally, I talked to Webb. He said he was able to ride one day this week, so that's a step up from last week where he said he was essentially just either bedridden or doing physical therapy. But last week's main event was tough. Webb told me that he actually had a rib, or two ribs that he had to put back in place after the main event. Are you kidding me? So he knows it's going to be hard. Now I said, is the timing even worse to be nursing some injuries and riding a brutal track at Daytona? And he said, honestly, man, they're all hard. It doesn't matter. But he also knows that there's no room for sympathy because he has got to start clawing some points back. I said, hey, can you almost take some pressure off being a little bit of an underdog now? You're coming back from an injury. Oh, nice whip from Roxon. Those guys got a big points lead on you. Does it take some pressure off? Is there some sort of silver lining you can find? And he said, nah, man, I liked having the points lead last year. I don't like not having it this year. I'd way rather be up front. Maybe some guys feel that way, but Webb wants to get right back in this thing immediately. And he does look pretty good as it was last week. You watch him in press day, he looked a little stiff. I feel this week, if you're watching him right now, you wouldn't know, hey, that's a guy that's been beat up a little bit from that crash 2 weeks ago at Dallas. So, pretty awesome scenario we have coming in. I know Roxon dominated last week's main event, but behind him the battles were insane, and hopefully that's a good preview of what we're gonna have here. As for Kenny, it's all rolling beautifully on the racetrack. He looks good. Honda's got the cool retro-looking numbers to celebrate 50 years of Daytona on the bikes of Cayman Brayton. Also the Moto Concepts team running some retro numbers as well. It's certainly clicking for Roxon on the racetrack, and I do feel he has a little extra motivation. He knows that everyone kind of considers Daytona Tomac's track, so I think this one sticks out, as I was talking about with Jim Holley. It's a race when they want a little more than any other. For Roxon, it would be points. For Roxon to be another win, that's good. But I think he wants to show he's got the stuff to beat Eli Tomac on a track that has been very good for Tomac in the past. The only change to Roxon's program, he announced on Instagram he's going to try to shy away from autograph sessions right now while the coronavirus is potentially a threat. He knows his immune system is not what it once was after dealing with all these surgeries over the last couple of years with his injuries. But he's in a much better spot, there's no doubt about it, than he has been at Daytona. Geez, in probably 5 or so years. I remember him coming out of hiding in 2017. It was the first time we saw him publicly after his big crash at Anaheim at Daytona, and he put on a nice face in front of the crowd when he was up on the stage, but he was a mess physically at that point. It's good that he's come back and is riding this well and is right in the hunt for this title. To have two guys tied at the halfway mark going into this prestigious 50th anniversary of Daytona, you really cannot script it better than that. We'll sprinkle in a little bit of the drama with Barcia and Tomac from last week. I think Jason Anderson was involved in 36 different run-ins on the track. He was getting hit and hitting people non-stop. It's really a banner time to come to the races. If you're anywhere near Daytona, you don't want to miss this one. And if you're not, please tune in, because these are the types of seasons and the types of races that we wish for, and it's about to become reality. Yeah, side note, you're probably aware, Ricky Carmichael designs the racetrack here at Daytona. One rider wanted to go talk to him about the track. Are you shocked at all? There's many traditions in 50 years. This is one of them as well.